Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to May 1st. I just wanted to say real quick one thing, and then I'm going to mention it at the end of the practice as well. We used to have our West Side practice at the Learning Garden, and that was on Saturdays. We're no longer having it at the moment because of the COVID virus. We're doing our classes online, which you all have been a part of. But you may get a notice for a meetup tomorrow, Saturday, May 2nd, at the Learning Garden. We are not meeting there. We are meeting online as we have been doing. So if you get a cancellation for that practice, don't worry. It's still going to be online meeting, and I'll mention that at the end of practice as well. So happy Friday. Let's start our medical Qigong practice. Opening up. Our feet are hip width, shoulder width apart. They're parallel so that our channels are open evenly in the front of the body and in the back of the body. And the tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth, which is allowing our connection between, once again, the front and the back channels. Settling into this space. Allowing the mind to focus on the breath. Allowing the body to relax. And then bringing the hands into loose fists. Starting to sway from side to side. Allowing the momentum to guide the arms, to create a gentle tapping at the torso. Letting the mind connect with those areas that are being tapped. Feeling the light vibration that's created, traveling through the tissue. And then gradually allowing that lead arm to travel up to the opposing shoulder. Coming back down, taking away some of that momentum. As we come back to the center. Widening the stance, opening up further with the left leg. I'm trying to mirror you. We're tapping the inner thigh and then up at the hip. Still breathing in and out through the nose, allowing the breath to reach down into the body, keeping the tissues as relaxed as possible, which allows greater qi and blood flow, and transitioning, widening the stance further, so we can travel down the inner aspects of the legs towards just above the ankle or wherever it's comfortable for you. Coming to the outside, the lateral aspect of the legs. Once you reach the hips and glutes, sliding that left foot closer to the right, maintaining hip width, shoulder width distance. And coming up to just underneath the rib cage, the low back area, wherever it's comfortable for you. Waking up the tissues of the low back. allowing them to start to open up and loosen before then placing the palms at the low back, circling down the sides and up the spine, bringing some warmth to the kidneys and kidney chi. Resting the palms at the low back, closing the eyes. Inhaling through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the low back, allowing that area to fill up with energy. And exhaling, allowing that energy to flow freely to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, using the mind's eye to guide the breath and the chi to the low back. Exhaling, allowing the chi to flow freely to wherever it's needed. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Allowing the body and the tissues to relax. And allowing the chi to flow to wherever it's needed. When you're ready, gently opening the eyes. The arms are coming back down to the sides and we're closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. Our Golden 8 series, 1 through 8. Opening. Our lung and large intestine exercise is our first exercise. Reach for happiness. We're inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Working now at your own pace, allowing your breath to guide the movements. Allowing the movements in the breath to harmonize. Working together. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our second exercise for the heart and small intestine, the Archer exercise, opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. and out. Continuing on, allowing the mind to relax into the exercise, staying with the exercise and with the breath. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our third exercise, swing in stomach between heaven and earth, opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Continuing on. Allowing yourself to enjoy and appreciate each element of the exercise. ready to close. Closing. Opening for our fourth exercise, turn and look back, our Sanjiao exercise. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing the breath to instigate and inform the movement. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our fifth exercise, twist and release for the liver and gallbladder. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our sixth exercise, the kidney and urinary bladder exercise, been for health. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. Out. And inhaling back to standing. Continuing on, working with your breath and with your body. Having no expectations. Allowing the exercise and the breath to work on their own. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our seventh exercise, the energy punch exercise for the rim channel, the conception vessel. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Getting ready to close. Closing. And our 8th exercise today for the dew channel, the governing vessel, energy jump. It's in 2 parts. Opening up. Inhaling as we feel ourselves drawn up into the sky. Exhaling as we fall back to the earth. Using your own breath now. Getting ready to transition to part 2. And transitioning to part 2, inhaling as the arms come up, exhaling as they come down. And then allowing yourselves to gradually ease off the momentum. Closing. Keeping the feet together, bringing the palms together, transferring some of that wonderful chi that you've been cultivating over the past half hour to the palms. Guiding the palms to the lower dantian. I'm not going to mirror you here. We're all going to travel up our right and down our left. 9 circles, gradually encompassing a little more of the abdomen as we go. Stirring the pot, guiding that chi to the lower dantian, then transitioning, going up the left and down the right. Concentrating that energy. Refining that energy. And then once we've done 9 circles, resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. As we inhale, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. And then as we exhale, allowing that energy to settle and store so that we may use it throughout the rest of our day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax, the body to relax. Allowing the chi to settle and store. Thank you, everyone, so very much. Real quick, once again, the West Side Learning Garden class will not be happening. That's the live class on Saturday mornings, but we will meet you here for the online classes tomorrow. So, Henry, please answer our questions now.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us. It's May 1st. This is our 37th day now. Just want to say we're going to keep it light today. but we're going to talk a little bit more about food as it relates to yin and yang. I just want to start with a little personal story. As you know from yesterday, if you were here, you knew that I had Twinkies and Captain Crunch when I was a kid. So that's the thing with being an immigrant family. You know, my mom's generation have no idea what Twinkies are or what Captain Crunch is. So, you know, I would get snacks and they'll be like, oh, okay, sure, have some. Because they don't eat what I eat. So they don't have any idea how much crazy sugars in all these kind of things. But what we did have every single day without a skip is we always have a soup. It's been a tradition in my family for many generations. And basically the soup, it's not chicken noodle soup or minestrone. Okay, so this is Chinese style soup. And it's often based on the season. And it's not a kid's dream kind of soup, okay? Because there's like herbs in there. It can taste very earthy and sometimes bitter, okay? Like my mom would make some bitter melon soup. I'm not sure if you ever had bitter melon, but it is bitter, okay? But we have like all these different kinds of soups depending on the season. So in wintertime, we would have more warming soups, things that are more nourishing, things that are more warming in nature to help us with the season, the colder season. And then in the summertime, it'll be more cooling soups. You know, things like we use something called winter melon is one, but it tends to be soups that in the summer tend to be a little bit lighter, both in flavor and also just in consistency. So you could always sort of tell what season it is by what soup is being served. And without, there's always a soup at the meal. Even like it's, 95 degrees out. I'm like, Mom, why are we drinking this hot soup? And, we didn't have an air conditioning back in the day. So you're like sweating and drinking the soup. And, as a kid, you want like, a bottle of Coke or something, not a hot steaming soup. And also sometimes the soups are adjusted because the family member's sick. So we would put some like herbs like astragalus in there, maybe some goji berries, things like that to help improve the immune system. So I didn't appreciate it back in the day, but I really appreciate it now as an adult, and having learned and seen my mom cook, I can sort of try to replicate some of these recipes now. But the reason why I bring this up is because we're not always going to be healthy. Like we're going to have times when we get sick, even if we do all the right stuff. And being sick is okay. Like it's part of what happens to us. So sometimes we get sick and it's actually good for our immune system to get stronger that way too. To a certain extent, of course. So, again, this is all part of this philosophy of yin and yang that, you're healthy, but sometimes you're also sick. And in that process of being sick, you have an opportunity to kind of stop and pause and reevaluate things, get rest. Maybe sometimes it's for a reason, and you were exhausted, you were pulling like long days, and so you got sick, and now you have to rest. Okay, so sometimes there's good reason why it's good to have these cycles, whether you like it or not. So back to foods is so I'm still eating a little bit of junk food from time to time. So just want to get that confession out of the way. So I'm not a perfect eater. I like to eat healthy most of the time, but I do have a little bit of sweets. I have a little bit of chips sometimes, but mostly I am pescatarian. So I eat some fish. I eat mostly vegetables, and I still carry on that tradition of soups most of the time too, to adjust. The reason why I bring this up is because, sometimes you want to celebrate. You want to enjoy a little bit of life. You have a snack. Okay, that's fine. I remember Mary Frances asked, if it was okay to have what kind of sweets to have for your birthday. I'm like, just enjoy the day. It's okay. So most of us have that, as long as it's not like every day, like every day you're gonna have some alcohol and some sweets and some chips. Okay, so that's out of balance. So we're going back into yin and yang metaphor again. So, you know, you wanna be able to have some joy, have some fun, enjoy life, but also maintain a healthy lifestyle. So part of that is sometimes you're gonna have some of this stuff, that's okay. But when I do that, I do try to be conscious of like, okay, so I had a little bit of ice cream, so I'm gonna, you know, make myself some ginger tea. Okay, so ginger ice cream is cold and it's damp, so it's phlegm causing. And ginger tea is good for offsetting some of that because it's good for digestion, it's warming. So I usually have that after just to offset a little bit. It's not totally neutralizing. So you don't have a gallon of ice cream and then have 2 gallons of ginger tea. That's not going to negate the whole thing, okay? So everything in moderation, okay? You don't want everything in extremes in your life. You still want mostly balance, okay? Just like that yin and yang symbol, that middle line, you still want to follow that curve most of the time, but sometimes you're going to stray a little bit too far off the road to the right, sometimes too far off to the left. That's okay. It happens to all of us. You know, the main thing is you get back on, okay? And enjoy a little bit of time that you were off the road, okay? But get back on, okay? And you want to have that internal compass. That's why you don't want to do it all the time, because if you do it all the time, your habits are going to change. You want to have healthy habits most of the time so that you know how to get back to those good habits. So I always make sure I have a vegetable dish when I eat. So, you know, some of the staples I have is like broccoli, kale, collard greens, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms, a lot of mushrooms. So like occasionally I might have like some beef or something like that. And I do want to make sure that I have, you know, some vegetables and especially some mushrooms to offset a dish like that. And then if I feel a little bit sick, obviously I would make my soups and I would throw in some astragalus like my mom would. And that helps kind of strengthen the qi, okay? But this is all about conscious living. It's about being conscious of what you're putting in your mouth every day and being able to be okay with eating junk food occasionally, but also choosing to eat healthy most of the time. And that just requires you to be, you know, more conscious about what you're putting in your mouth and what you're also drinking too. So I'm just trying to encourage a healthy balance for all of us. And I'm just sharing with you that I'm not perfect dieter, but this is some of the tips that I have to offset those occasional days when I have a little bit of sweet or a little bit of ice cream. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday, and thank you for joining us. Tomorrow is Saturday, and that's our longer class. So tomorrow we start at same time, 8:15, but we're gonna go a little bit longer. We finished the Golden 8 series in terms of all the 8 exercises. However, we wanna work on the facial exercises. So we'll work on that tomorrow. The facial exercises are quite fun. If you have kids or someone who has no idea that you're doing Qigong, they think you're gonna make weird faces at them and they might laugh at you. And that's totally okay because you know you're doing good stuff for yourself. And basically our face is a microcosm of our body. All right, so like the eyes, for example, go to the liver, and the center of the eye goes towards the kidneys. But the nose is related to your lungs and large intestine. Your lips are related to your digestive system, your spleen and stomach. Your ears are related to your kidneys, okay? So when we're doing these facial rejuvenation exercises, we get to actually get connected with all those different internal organs. And so this is another good thing to do if you're like stuck on the airplane. And you can do these exercises.